And House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Rogers is from Michigan. Joining me now on both this General Motors story and also some major breaking news on the intelligence front. First, let's talk about GM. We know how important it is to Michigan and to the country. What about the way GM has handled this situation so far?
Well, the committee and its investigators have poured over some 250,000 documents, some from General Motors, some 6,000 documents from the National Highway Safety Administration. And so we'll have the story is starting to come together, and it's very, very concerning. It seems that there is problems on both sides of the equation, both from the regulatory side and General Motors side, that just didn't seem to step up to the plate when they needed to most of all. Clearly, it was a company in distress at the time. We hope that that wasn't one of the decisions that they came to, but we'll have to go through this course of this investigation, make sure we get all of the facts on the table, and it's clear that someone is going to have to be held accountable for the actions.
In both General Motors and potentially the regulators also, the government regulators.
Yeah, absolutely. There's clearly somebody there missed something, and clearly someone at General Motors, and that's a failure on both sides of that equation. And you know, the reason you have those regulators is to make sure there isn't a failure on both sides of the equation. This is one of those cases, and they're just going to have a lot of explaining yet to do and a lot more facts to get through on these documents so that we can come to the right conclusion. You know, you don't want to swing blindly at who might be at fault, but someone at General Motors is clearly responsible, and certainly someone in the regulator shop is responsible, and somebody has to be held accountable so that we can send the message that this can't happen again.
Now, the House Intelligence Chair, I want to ask you about some other major breaking news today, which is that Secretary Kerry yesterday in Israel, and he's returning tomorrow, brought up the possibility of releasing early, convicted Israeli spy Jonathan Pollard, one of the worst spies in American history, according to the intelligence agencies. George Tenet, the former CIA director, almost threatened to quit if Bill Clinton would have put this on the table. This is to try to persuade Prime Minister Netanyahu to release Palestinian prisoners that he was supposedly going to release as part of this ongoing negotiation. Bottom line is, this is an attempt to salvage the talks from completely collapsing. The Palestinians are threatening to walk out. They've refused to recognize Israel, so both sides have refused to commit to things that they had promised. What do you, as a former FBI man and as the House Intelligence Chair, think about releasing Jonathan Pollard?
I think this is a serious mistake, and it tells me that the administration is at wit's end here and believes that Netanyahu is the sole problem in this equation. I think this is a horrible idea. I think it sends a horrible message. B, you've connected two things that are completely unrelated when it comes to catching a spy who is stealing U.S. secrets and selling them or providing them to somebody who does not have access to them. You can't have that. You can't send that message, number one. And it was completely unrelated to what's happening now with these Palestinian prisoners, some of which, by the way, have violent pasts. That is not something that we should connect together, number one. And number two, there's two sides of that equation. You have the Palestinians are engaged in violent activities that they said that they would stop. That's not happening. And so this is, boy, the instinct of it is bad, the perception of it is bad, and the substance of it is bad.
Well, Congressman, just to play devil's advocate, he's going to be released in November 2015 anyway. He's 59 years old, supposedly has health problems, and it is a very big deal in Israel, something that Netanyahu has been pleading for. So I guess what someone in the State Department might say is, what's the harm in releasing him a year early if this keeps the negotiations on track? What say you?
Yeah. Pollard releasing a convicted spy who spied against the United States of America has nothing to do with the Palestinian issue. And when you merge them, you've got real trouble. You know what? This shouldn't even be part of the equation. You can put those talks back together separate of this. And that's what I don't understand. This just seems like rudimentary 101 negotiations I think beneath what is going to take to fix the Middle East peace process. That's what's so frustrating to those of us who take so much time to study these issues. And again, you mentioned it, in November he's going to be done. Great, let him serve his term. He will be out. There is no reason to put him a part of this negotiation. Candidly, it weakens the position of the United States. Again, it relates to issues that should not be related. And it gets us into making the determination of the value of prisoner exchanges. I think that's always a bad idea for the United States to be in that position.
Now, you are the very powerful House Intelligence Chair. You're in the majority, obviously. You're now going to leave. You're not going to run for re-election. And you're going to do a radio show, which, I mean, you're going to have a national audience, arguably, but you've got a big platform right now. My friend Chris Wallace was asking you about this on Sunday, and you suggested you might be going to Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina. You mentioned a couple of other states that are obviously big primary states. Are you thinking about 2016?
Well, I think I'd like to try to move the needle on the debate for 2016 at the very minimum. And so if you think about what I've been able to do in the last 4 years, the committee was absolutely dysfunctional when I became chairman, and Dutch Ruppersberger, my Democrat, now the ranking member, we decided together to show leadership on the committee, put it back together, take partisanship out of national security, and we've done that. We've reestablished all of the regiments of oversight in every single program, reestablished the budgets. So going through all of that, and yes, it's an important position. Yes, it provides certainly a national platform, but it doesn't give us the opportunity to expand that message. And I really thought that this was an opportunity to have that broader message all over the country that I don't have today. And it was a hard decision, a tough decision. I want you to know that because I believe so passionately in the work that we're doing on the committee. But I also believe that it was in that place. I'm a citizens legislator at the end of the day. It will continue on. But now can I take that broader platform of, listen, you can be a productive conservative, still work with the other side to move the ball forward on what's good for America. That's missing, I think, across the nation, and I think that this platform affords me the opportunity to talk to people in their cars, in their kitchens, and working in their cars with the radio on in their garage in a way that I don't have the ability today. And I think it's the right message for the United States. I think there's just a significant amount of interest in hearing that message. Going to be foreign policy and national security related for sure, but all of the other issues as well. So tough decision, but I do think this is a national platform, a much broader audience than I can talk to even doing the kind of work that I'm doing today.
And in a word, 2016, yes or no?
Moving the needle on 2016, yes.
All right. Thank you very much. You heard it first here.